Hey guys, we just got back to the homestead with a massive haul of salmon from the Copper River. Now it's time to preserve the catch. Alright, well we are back from our remote trip on the Copper River. We got a boatload of salmon to put up for the winter. These have to be processed a little further, so we filleted these flatfish style, and then we're going to cut the bellies off now, save the bellies because they are delicious, and then smoke these. And I think we're going to can almost all of these except for a few that we are going to vacuum seal. So I'm going to get to it, start by cutting these bellies off. Alright, so we're gonna brine these after we cut them, so get them all brining. I like to do just a super simple salt brine. I don't like sugar too much in there. About a cup to 7 cups of water. I just kind of mix this together with my hand and eyeball it, and then I'm gonna make some grooves in the fillets here and then get them in the brine. Got about 103 fish to get through here, and then some we're gonna vacuum seal and give to some elders in the community who could not fish for themselves this year. And then after we get through all this, we have to get back to work on the fish meal because we are racing against the clock with that as well. All right, that's nice. All right, there we go. We're gonna smoke them just like this. Get this in the brine.
Coolers are worthy investment.
Good cooler, yeah.
This cooler is awesome. You could keep them for a week. This makes 203 fish for the year. Our family will use, I think about 300 will get us by. There is a moose season, and we hope to get a moose because when you subsist off mostly meat, you tend to eat a lot of meat.
We're also going to smoke this roe up too, which is going to be really good. A lot of people discard the roe or use it for bait, which it's honestly our favorite part. It's the most nutrient dense, wonderful food.
So we get about 103 fish on this trip. 20 of them fish are going to go to elderly neighbors. Just going to vacuum seal them and freeze them for them, just like this, and then they can kind of do what they want with them. That's going to be the really cool thing about the fish wheel, is the fish wheel is going to produce way more fish than our family needs. So once our needs are met with it, then we can start donating the rest to, various members of the community that need them. So we're really excited to get that thing going, and it's a wonderful thing to not only be able to get enough meat for yourself, but enough meat for the people around you too who can't get it otherwise. A lot of Alaskans use fish as gifts when you go over people's house, or use a moose meat as gifts, so it's nice to have extra on hand to
share.
Yeah, you always share the game meat. It's good karma.
This is a big fish.
So it's a big fish. Full in these pans, so we're going to start washing out this cooler. We're going to brine them there. We got another big cooler to get through. I love processing fish. There's some weight there. There's the brine.
And we use the entire fish. We don't let anything go to waste. We use the heads for stock. We dry the tails for the dogs for their food for the year. We use the roe, the bellies. So we are going to go ahead and smoke this up in our smoker with the rest of this fish. I'm going to let these sit in there maybe an hour or so, maybe a half hour, because they're teeny beany pieces, but it's going to be delicious. So I'm going to get to making that salt brine, add my salt and my water. So I just keep the membrane or the sack together when I smoke them, and just hang them with string or right on the pegs in there. It's a better way to preserve it, I think, because when you freeze the roe, it just doesn't really stay that good past about 2 months.
A lot of roe. This was our first time packing out fish as flatfish, and it definitely helps on cooler space, and it's a quick way really to get through your fish. So this is how we're going to do it from now on, without a doubt. And it makes it easy when you get back here just to you know, get them all prepared to go in the smoker, and it even gives you something to hang it off of. So when we get the fish wheel going, we'll set up a little water pump right down by the river and be able to pack all our fish back home like this and put them in the smoker there, and it's going to be good. Okay, we're going to clean up a little bit. We got all these in brine here. We got the cooler full. We probably have, I don't know, 30 or 40 left in this cooler, but we're going to pull out 20, vacuum seal them up, and get them in the freezer for our neighbor, and then we will go on to brining the rest of these.
About 10 more to go. We're gonna throw these in the freezer.
Okay, this makes up the 20 for our neighbor. I'm gonna pop these in the cooler, bring them over to his place later tonight, but these are about ready, so we're gonna start smoking these fish. Get these open now so we can see. This is going to be the smoker's first test. See how many fish we can hold in it. I bet we could squeeze 100 in here.
We're ready to go in.
Yeah, there's some weight to that. Like just the back first and then forward. We probably could get these eggs on one if we want. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, smoker's full. This thing holds a lot of fish. I'm gonna get this lit, get it smoking, and then we'll start working on the roe. Cool thing about the windows is you can light this thing, keep them open, and it blows the smoke out, so when you go in here you're not killing your eyes.
beautiful. All right, these are done. These are ready to get out of the smoker and get in the canner. We are gonna get these fish in the house and get them in the canner. We're gonna cut them in even pieces and then get jarring them. Really good looking. It's nice and like cased.
Okay, we're gonna bring these in the house. Whoa, that's a heavy one.
Okay, I'm gonna start prepping our jars for canning. All you need to do when you're canning salmon is wash these with very hot soapy water. You cannot reuse the lid part, so I went ahead and bought some new lids for my jars that I already had. You can reuse the bands, so the little twist on part, but you need new lids for every batch. So I'm gonna go ahead, wash these with hot soapy water. You do not have to sterilize jars when you're processing for more than 10 minutes. So these are gonna be going in the canner for an hour and 50 minutes. So these absolutely do not have to be sterilized, so I can skip that step. Ooh, it's hot. But this has to be pressure canned, so you can't use a water bath canner to can up meat or salmon or fish, any other kind of fish. It needs to be a pressure canner because it's a low acid food. Okay, so next step, now that we have our jars nice and washed, is we are going to cut up the salmon into equal sized pieces, about 1/2 to 1 inch, but you want them to be equal sized roughly. And then I'm gonna put them in here or pack these in these jars vertically. You can pack them tight, you can pack them loose, whatever you want to do. We have a lot of fish, so we are going to pack these as tight as we can and just leave about 1 inch headspace. And while we are packing these, we're going to prep the canner, which means I'm just going to put a couple of inches of water in the bottom of my pressure canner. Now it might be different for yours depending if you're using a weighted gauge or a dial pressure canner. I have a weighted gauge pressure canner, which with mine I fill it on the bottom with a couple inches of water first, let that heat while I'm packing the jars. Not super hot because you don't want the water to be really, really hot when you put those jars in there because they could shatter from the heat difference. So we are gonna fill all the jars we have. Some of this we might freezer pack as well. Try to put them in vertically if you can, but if they're not perfect, that's fine. Okay, we're ready to put the lids on these. When you fill these jars up, you want to leave 1 inch headspace, and that is measured by that first line here. You want to make sure that is there because that could interfere with the seal. So you don't want to overfill them too much there because that could make it not seal right. But the only thing you're really going to want to worry about at this point is you want to wipe the rims completely clean. So I'm going to use a microfiber. They're really handy for this. You don't want any sediment or oil or anything on the tops there that might interfere with the seal. And I'm going to take one of my lids that I just washed and I'm going to kind of center it on here. Another good thing is to look at your lids and your jars, make sure there's no nicks or cracks or dings in there. Put it on. And then just finger tight on. So you want to tighten it on, but you don't want to make it really, really tight because you don't know, if they come out of the canner and it's on there, if it's just really tight, you tightened it on really tight, or if it's processed correctly. So just finger tight those on. Beautiful jar of salmon. That one's all set. I'm gonna do the same thing with all of these guys. And I can fit about 12 jars in my canner at once. It's definitely time to invest in another canner, I think, especially with moose season coming up. That's gonna be a lot of canning. And so we figure with this, about 1 fish will fit into 2 jars, which is pretty good, like a fillet a jar. Really great. But these are all meals. So 1 can of this we pop open for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. We take these on the road a lot. Canning is great. And so these are shelf stable. You don't have to refrigerate this after. That's the beauty of canning. They're good just the way they are. And these jar companies will tell you 12 to 18 months on the shelf. We've eaten some canned goods that are much older than that, like 5 to 6 years or longer. So, but you know, whatever you're comfortable with. I'm actually gonna squeeze 1 more in here. All right, so when you put these lids on, you wanna put them on in a star pattern, kind of like you put on a spare tire. You wanna make sure it's even as best you can. One thing that I always make sure to do also is to check this vent pipe, make sure it's clear and there's nothing obstructing it. Okay, now that those are nice and in the canner, I'm gonna vent steam for 10 minutes out of this vent pipe, and then I'm gonna put my weighted gauge on there at 15 pounds pressure. And I'm gonna do that because we're at 2,200 feet in elevation here. If you're at a different elevation, it would be different for you, so you always wanna look at the elevation tables when you are canning. But once this vents for 10 minutes, I'm gonna throw my weight on there at 15 pounds and watch and wait and listen to when it jiggles. And I want that to jiggle 1 to 4 times a minute. If it varies out of that, I have to restart my processing time. But when it starts jiggling at the right or correct amount, I'm gonna start processing these for 1 hour and 50 minutes. And in the meantime, we're gonna start vacuum sealing a few of them and keep jarring.
Birch.
Yeah, Mommy, I told her to stand, she stayed.
Birch listens, pretty much.
Oh, you put your coat after.
Where there's a birch, there's a Lena. Where there's a Lena, there's a birch. They're inseparable. All right, so this has been venting steam for 10 minutes. I'm gonna throw my weight on. All right, and then we're gonna keep canning. We're probably gonna do about 2 more rounds in here and then vacuum seal the rest of it, put it in the freezer until tomorrow when we can get to it. It's definitely time to invest in a few more canners, but we are just gonna move and shake and use what we have, and we will get to those as well tomorrow. Okay, so we are about ready to do another batch in the canner. We're gonna be canning for a few days, and I have no complaints about that. I love canning. Just gonna wipe these guys off. All right, we are also still smoking some roe, so we're gonna go check on that. I wanted to start another batch of cheese, but I don't know if I'm gonna get to that today. So we're gonna run out, check the roe, babysit the smoker a little bit, milk the goats. All right, we're gonna let these go a little bit longer. We'll pull them off tonight, but we are super excited to try that smoked roe. It looks really, really good. Okay, this is all depressurized, ready to come out. You do want to be careful when you open the lid because that steam can be really hot. We're ready to get going on another batch. There we go. So with your jars, you're just gonna kind of listen for the ping, and then after 24 hours, if any have not sealed, they look great, you can reprocess them. All right, next batch going in. Can fit about 7 on the bottom, 7 on the top. All right, let's seal this back up. They big?
Look at our plants, Dad. Come in here. See, where is it? Wow, look at the beans.
Flowers is what the bees pollinate, and then they make fruit. They're gonna make a pumpkin.
Eat mosquitoes. Did you know that?
That's in our book we read, Lena, up in the garden down in the dirt.
Let's see if we can get them outside, where you can go out there and continue to eat mosquitoes.
Okay, so this is our 3rd batch coming out of the canner. We still have quite a few to get through. The roe came out really good too. That's still in the smoker. Super excited for that. Hello. Hello, hello. Looking good. 42 cans so far. 42 pints so far. And we have about double to go. So we're gonna keep canning. Start packing some more jars. So a lot of people ask if we have a moose season, and absolutely yes. And we go hard for moose season too, but really a bird in the hand is better than 2 in the bush, and sometimes you won't get a moose. So the salmon is really, really great. We focus a lot of effort on salmon. But we're excited to get a moose too. Some variance in protein is nice. For those of you who are new to the channel, we get a lot of questions about our salmon limits. So as a subsistence household, we subsist off wild fish, wild game, and as such, we're allowed more than personal use. So typical, or what you're gonna see for a lot of personal use dip net limits is 25 per household plus 10 per person. We're allowed up to 500 salmon, again, because we are living off that meat. So the limits are different and the seasons are also different. So we're allowed to start earlier and go later than personal use as well, and to fish different areas and to use a fish wheels. So subsistence permits are federal permits, whereas your personal use fishery or personal use or recreational hunting license is from the state of Alaska. And there are limits on that permit too. So if we are fishing like dip netting, subsistence dip netting, no one can even touch those fish unless they're also a subsistence permit holder or from a subsistence zone. But we're really thankful to be able to participate in that because it makes it all possible. It really keeps our costs down. It makes homesteading much more viable. And people also use them to feed their dogs, feed their animals. You know, it's a way to live in a really wild place, which is really incredible. So we're really thankful to be able to participate in it and to live in a community where we can participate in it, because it means a lot to us as a family to be able to do. So we work really hard to get this done and to get everything we can while we can, because it is a short window. So winter comes quick. September we're probably going to start getting snow. You get the fish while the fish are in, you get your moose when you can, and you work really hard at it. It doesn't come without hard work, but it's great work. It's very rewarding, and we wouldn't have it any other way. All right, last 2 heading in. Another batch gonna get going in here. Okay, and while these are getting going, we are gonna go check on our roe. Awesome. These look great. Oh, wow. Whoa. That is the way to do roe. That is so good. It's like oily. It's not dry. Just slightly smoky. They taste like little salmon pearls. Roe is great. I don't know how people don't like roe. That's the best way we've ever done roe. Smoke it. smoking it from here on out for sure. I think we're gonna put these in freezer bags and then freeze it. Take them out as we want to use them. But if you wanted to dry this, we could just open up these screens on here and all you need is wind and sun. It's super simple. You could just dry these just like this. Just make sure the flies don't get on them and you're all set. These would be beautiful and shelf stable that way. But we are gonna throw these in the freezer, I think. We're gonna enjoy these all throughout the year. These are wonderful, really good.
Yeah, moist in the middle. That's great just as is.
Yeah, right?
That's really surprising how good that is. Tucker, you want to try some?
Here we go, man. Wow. This is the new way to do this every year now. This is going to be a tradition. Beautiful. All right. Well, we are going to get this in the house and get it vacuum sealed up. This is just gorgeous and delicious. We're so thankful to have this before I drop it because it's pretty heavy. I'm going to go back in the cabin, get this vacuum sealed. And we have another batch of this still to do. So there's about double as much in the freezer in there that we still have to smoke. So we're going to be smoking roe for a while and we're really happy to do that.
These are so pretty and juicy.
All right, we are gonna pull this batch out. We're gonna do one more before bed. It's about 8 o'clock right now. We're gonna stuff some more jars, put them back in the canner, but first we're gonna take these guys out. All right. We have 60 cans exactly on the shelf. So this is gonna be another 16. It's a little nerve-wracking until you get it all put up because you have all this fish that you worked really hard to get and it's just beautiful and you want to get it all put up right and while it is fresh. So I'm happy that it's getting all where it needs to be and all squared away. Oh, I forgot a ring. Okay, we are gonna get these processing and we will see you guys in the morning. Okay, these have been in the canner overnight. We're gonna take them out and start the next batch. All right. Just enough. Alright, well this batch is almost ready to come out of the canner. Dennis found some mushrooms. We're gonna go pick those and put them with dinner. Are you gonna pick the bullet?
Yeah, I can be the bullet picker. Look! Can I get these two?
Yeah, do you want to pick them?
Notebooks got to them. Wow, look at how beautiful these are. Notebooks got to them.
I think it's a little bit off the ground. Go ahead, start cutting. We got it. Yay. Push, push. One over here.
No bugs in this one. Oh, those two don't have bugs.
Okay, this is nice and depressurized. We're gonna take these out and then we have one final batch going in. And the rest we freezer packed. Hello. after we can up these last 16, we will have 117 jars put away, which is awesome. And then we also have those freezer pack fillets. Great, really happy to get this all canned, but we are gonna get going on our last batch, get that in the canner, and then in the meantime, while that gets going in the canner, we are gonna go make some dinner over the fire. Okay, final batch. We're gonna put these in. Okay, we are done. That is the last batch, and we are happy to be done with that. Now we're gonna go make some dinner.
Okay, we're gonna let this burn down, and while it does, we're gonna go pick some greens in the garden.
Alright. We're gonna do a fresh salad with some herbs. We like herbs in our salad. I'm actually gonna do cilantro, some parsley, maybe a little dill, and some basil. I gotta start making a few tinctures here. I got lemon balm and nettle and sage and oregano. I wanna make them all in the tinctures while they are fresh. Squirrel that Birch has been doing battle with around here. One squirrel. You excited for mac and cheese?
Yeah.
We had that camp meal on the beach the other night, and it made me want to make a homemade mac and cheese.
Can't beat homemade mac and cheese.
Oh, it's good. I'm happy to have that all done.
It's a lot of work to catch them. It's even more work to put them all up. All this hard work in the summer really kind of makes you look forward to the long winter. It's a time of rest. Another successful day. Tucker here is about 13 years old. He's got bad hips and he has a pretty bad heart murmur. So he has some good days and some bad days. On the bad days, he mostly just stays on his bed on the porch, but he's been having some good days lately. He's been out and about, so.
Hey guys, this is Amy and Dennis from Holdfast, Alaska. We are a small family living in the eastern interior, building a subsistence homestead.
Thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you enjoyed that video, and we'll see you on the next one.